Welcome to Eccles Station on the Liverpool to Manchester railway line, the world's first intercity railway. It opened 190 years ago this year. Since then, the railways have innovated and changed and adapted, and they've coped with some incredible challenges. This year's been no exception, as COVID-19's affected all our lives so significantly. But things have to continue, so welcome to the Railway Industry Innovation Awards on behalf of Modern Railways and Key Publishing's Fourth Friday Club. To take us through the afternoon, here's our host, the editor of Modern Railways, Philip Sherratt.
Hello, and welcome to the Railway Industry Innovation Awards 2020. These awards represent something of an innovation for us. For more than 20 years, we've brought the industry together in London to celebrate the best innovations from a whole host of companies across the industry. Sadly, for obvious reasons, that's not been possible this year, so instead we're bringing you something different, an online awards ceremony. I'm delighted to report that the industry's appetite for innovation hasn't been dulled by the pandemic, if the volume of entries that we've received is anything to go by. The judges had a busy time and enjoyed reading your submissions, so thanks to all those who submitted an entry this year. More about the awards in a moment, but first it's time to welcome our guest speaker. I'm delighted to introduce Helen Waters, Associate Director with Steer Group. Helen has worked in a wide range of consultancy, train operating company and owning group roles since 1992, giving her experience of all aspects of rail operations. She's passionate about the benefits that innovation can unlock and seeks to overcome institutional barriers to the application of new ideas. Thanks, Helen, for agreeing to set the scene for our awards in this somewhat novel way. Over to you.
Hello. I'm delighted to be invited to give this keynote address and to offer my personal perspectives on what for many has been a professionally and personally challenging year, and one where I think there are more challenges to come. I'm going to start my remarks with a short piece of retrospective. The Harvard professor and economist Theodore Levitt observed that creativity is thinking up new things, but that innovation is doing new things. Certainly, if anyone had suggested this time last year that our innovative teams would be resolving challenges like implementing a one-way system at stations, keeping our passengers 2 metres apart, delivering socially distanced training or antiviral cleaning, I may have suggested that you were mad. But we have coped with these challenges and many more and continue to do so. If, as observed, innovation is doing new things, then I suggest this year must have been one of our most truly innovative. While today is about recognising and celebrating our achievements, I'm now going to turn to future challenges. As I see it, we have two critical challenges facing us in the next few years. Firstly, encouraging passengers to return to rail, and secondly, in meeting the environmental challenge. I'll consider the challenge of encouraging passengers back to rail first. I do not intend to address the challenge of COVID in itself. There are many bright minds focusing on that right now. But I do want to raise the issue of customer experience and the challenges it presents for our industry. Research for the Williams Rail Review and the RDG has clearly given us and shown us passenger feedback on rail. Words like trusted, valued, in control and informed are used to describe what customers want and need. I would add to this at the moment the challenge of safety, which as we know is vital for customer confidence. Whilst rail reform and contract change clearly has its place to play, I would also argue that innovation can address some of these challenges, particularly in the areas like information, digital and retailing, where we can deliver improved trust and value. I would certainly make the case that innovation helps rail keep pace with other modes and other industries, such as retail and automotive. They often lead change and they do set expectations for our customers. In the past, funding has been used to develop many first-of-a-kind projects, and this year Innovate UK and DFT have jointly funded first-of-a-kind projects which target customer experience, efficiency and sustainability, just the areas we're talking about now. Often, first-of-a-kind projects do not make it into the market and do not therefore realise their full potential. Often we find them falling at either the first or the second valley of death. So that's either where we're getting a concept from another industry or another technology into rail, or at the point of scaling it up to a market application. Today's situation, with the need to respond to COVID, the loss of fare box revenue and the changes to contracting structures has diverted attention away from innovation delivery for many people. But I think we can look at this challenge in a different way. I think we've got a unique opportunity at the moment, a golden time, to experiment and deliver innovation. We do not currently have the challenge of capacity or revenue or performance in the same way as we did. Often innovation opportunities, come from linking together many small things. We have many of these already existing. Things like how we measure and count passengers, how we look at the way people move around, performance and operational data. If we combine these, we can come up with some things that really matter to passengers. Things like automated delay repay. These changes have the opportunity to stimulate market growth and regrow that all-important trust and address those other shortcomings. I'm now going to turn briefly to the environmental challenge, and in particular the need to eliminate diesel traction. Our industry has gone a considerable way in outlining this challenge, and in the long term, how we might address it. And by the time you hear these words, we should have a new rail technical strategy. But personally, I'm left with some questions. While I do understand the end state, where we want to get to, I'm not clear on the building blocks of how to get there, that all-important how. I applaud the work of G-Volution, Hydroflex and those many other small technologies that are being developed and adapted and adapting existing approaches to rail. But these alone do not close the gap. And there are considerable challenges in growing these approaches to a product that's widely available and used in the market. I've had the advantage of spending the last few weeks looking at the specific challenges of freight traction, and this has taught me a few things. It's allowed me to focus on the cost challenges of freight and the relative lack of affordable solutions in the UK market. At the practical end of innovation, I feel there's a pressing need to know at least two more bits of the jigsaw. The first of which is a detailed strategy which will get us to that long-term goal, but will include year-on-year stepping stones to build to that objective. And the second is a collaborative and practical approach, bringing together the best of the rolling stock market, technologists, operators and funders to progress first-of-a-kind applications, crossing that second valley of death and into initial deployments. Today, we're rightly celebrating our innovative successes and the people and teams who have delivered them. In 3 years' time, I want to be here celebrating our success in regrowing the passenger market and in getting first-of-a-kind clean traction technologies into wider market use. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Helen, for your speech. And now it's time to begin the Railway Industry Innovation Awards 2020. As usual, we're going to award trophies in 7 categories with highly commended certificates for the runners-up. While we can't present these in person, as we would usually do at our event in London, we will send them out shortly so they can still take pride of place in your offices. In addition, this year we received quite a few entries of innovations which are responding directly to the COVID crisis, so the judges decided to create a special 8th category recognising some of these. That's going to be the penultimate award in the ceremony before the major project trophy at the end. Before we start, a brief explanation of what's going to happen next. We're very grateful to our sponsors for continuing to support the awards as we've moved to this online format. So for each award, we're going to first hear from one of our sponsors to introduce the category, and then you'll hear in turn from the shortlisted entrants, who will explain a little bit about what their entry is. And then finally, we'll reveal in each category which award is the winner. So now it's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the Railway Industry Innovation Awards 2020.
BR Fairs is delighted to be sponsoring the environment category. We believe that innovations related to the environment are vital in the industry. For one, to prevent the acceleration of global warming, this has become a hot topic during the pandemic, and it's increasingly becoming a factor when people decide how to travel. Making rail travel ever more environmentally friendly could be a real selling point. At BR Fairs, we'll be encouraging this by signposting journeys involving electric trains and soon perhaps hydrogen too. Innovations in the environment also enhance safety of staff and passengers alike, and ensure that services run efficiently and with less disruption. So with such a diverse range of inventive and beneficial projects in this category, let's see who made it through to the final section.
The UK rail industry is under pressure to decarbonise its operations. Gvolution is demonstrating an alternative way to reduce costs and reduce carbon on the network from November 2020. Diesel engines are efficient. They need to become cleaner, greener and cheaper within the current infrastructure. Gvolution's patented dual fuel technology allows diesel engines to run on two fuels simultaneously. This can reduce emissions by up to 60% and fuel costs by up to 40%. The technology is retrofittable and fuel flexible. We have two demonstrators going onto the network in the next 2 months, one with Grand Central, a Class 180 DMU with diesel LNG dual fuel, and the other with Colas Rail and Network Rail, a Class 73 locomotive running on diesel and bio-LPG dual fuel. The technology offers a payback within 3 to 5 years, delivers infrastructure within the current context, and enables the use of cleaner, greener and cheaper fuels whilst building a low-carbon infrastructure for tomorrow. Have a look at www.gvolution.com.
Hi, I'm Laura, Project Manager of the Hyperspectral Remote Sensing Project and a member of the Network Rail R&D team. Our challenge was to find a method to identify and classify the health and vitality of trees and to detect early stages of deterioration to reduce the risk of major incidents involving falling trees on the railway and critical infrastructure. We have used hyperspectral remote sensing to develop a proof of concept that allows us to categorize each individual tree by their health and vitality. It generates a map that shows which trees are healthy, symptomatic, or exhibiting significant ill health. This data will allow us to effectively manage the significant emerging threat of the ash dieback disease. It will contribute to an 80% reduction in trackside inspections and to intervene early to make the trees safe and reduce costs. A deceased tree that cannot be climbed can cost at least £500 extra per tree to remove. And think of the avoided cost when Network Rail has 400,000 ash trees within close proximity of the track.
Hydroflex is a partnership between Porterbrook and the University of Birmingham to deliver the UK's first hydrogen-powered train. I'm delighted to have been involved in this project. It's been an amazing achievement to take a concept right through to prototype in just 9 months. And then over the last year, we've been building on that and developing all the approvals needed for mainline operation.
This has been an incredibly challenging project, bringing together a number of non-rail suppliers to integrate a fuel cell, fuel tanks and some batteries into this prototype train.
Fuel cell technology is really important for part of decarbonising the railway in the future. A fuel cell is effectively a live battery where you feed in hydrogen fuel, combine it with oxygen from the air to create electricity, powering the train, and pure water. As the only emission is water, this has got to be good for the future.
I can't describe how proud I am of this entire Hydroflex team that have reached this fantastic milestone, the first UK hydrogen mainline train. It's a real highlight for me personally, and it's a step forward on the road to decarbonisation for UK rail.
The winner of the Innovation Award for Environment is Network Rail and 2XL for management of tree health and vitality through hyperspectral remote sensing. In view of the increasingly evident effects of climate change on railway infrastructure, the judges were impressed with the potential the hyperspectral system gives for protecting the railway from adverse impacts.
The Railway Industry Association is delighted to be sponsoring the Innovation Award for Engineering and Safety. Of course, those two topics go hand in hand, both in delivering today's railway and in innovating for the future. And if anyone was in any doubt, the number and quality of the entries show that innovation is very much alive and well in today's industry. What was also really encouraging was that many of the entries had good stories to tell about how they persevered and even accelerated their efforts through the coronavirus pandemic. So, let's look now at who made the shortlist and who is the winner of the Engineering and Safety Award.
I'm Maria Jones, a project manager in Network Rail's research and development team. The RAISE project is a collaboration between Network Rail's R&D team, the Wales and Western region, Fujitsu and PA Consulting. The Rail Asset Identification System is a machine learning tool that automatically identifies, catalogues and visualises assets in their exact location in a digital replica of the railway. For passengers, this means more trains, fewer delays, and higher safety standards. Network Rail can use the tool to quickly deploy maintenance crews, be more proactive in service scheduling, and be better able to plan their repairs and upgrades. RAISE is digitising the UK rail network, and it will give Network Rail and its partners the ability to better leverage the huge amounts of asset data they hold in order to make smarter decisions in projects that seek to modernise the railway and provide a better rail experience for passengers.
Hello, my name's Amy Woodward and I'm a project manager at Network Rail R&D, leading on the HMT1 Workflow Plus project. A collaboration between Network Rail R&D and the Central Rail Systems Alliance, HMT1 Workflow Plus is now allowing renewals teams to create and adapt digitised processes using a cloud-hosted interface that can be utilised via mobile phones, tablets, or the HMT1 device. Employing agile ways of working has allowed this project team to develop and test this solution in just 3 months. Despite COVID-19 challenges, the team are already seeing a range of benefits from this solution, including reducing boots on the ballast by getting data right first time and saving significant costs, reducing the time to complete required reports and surveys by up to 70%, and freeing up the hands of the teams on the ground, allowing them to be more situationally aware. Ultimately, HMT1 Workflow Plus is allowing us to do things safer, better and faster.
ActiWheel GS is a new rail vehicle traction system developed to reduce rolling contact fatigue, wear and maintenance costs. It utilises an onboard digital control system linked to independently rotating in-wheel traction motors that autonomously guide and steer the train over the track.
So our solution has the motor integrated into the wheel. That means there's no transmission between the two. There are no moving parts beyond a bearing, which every wheel and axle has, and there's no friction braking systems. So we can really reduce the amount of maintenance that needs to be done. These are very high reliability, very durable systems.
ActiWheel GS technology delivers cross-industry benefits to rail through significantly reduced maintenance costs for Network Rail, Roscoe's and TOCs, improved reliability for TOCs and passengers, greater operational energy efficiency, bogie and vehicle weight reduction, improved safety, and is a major step forward in meeting the government's carbon reduction and environmental objectives.
The winner of the Innovation Award for Engineering and Safety is ActiWheel GS from Stored Energy Technology Limited. Network Rail and train operators are perpetually on the lookout for ways in which costs can be kept down. The judges found ActiWheel an exciting innovation that could do just that.
As a long-term UK rail asset management business, Porterbrook is very pleased to sponsor the Operations and Performance category at this year's Railway Industry Innovation Awards. Good operations and performance underpins the service we deliver as an industry to passengers and to freight customers, and this category recognises the individuals, teams and organisations that have delivered excellence in performance and operations. The shortlist for this year's award is as follows.
Resonate is proud to be nominated for this prestigious award. Our Luminate traffic management system serves up information when and where it is most needed. It delivers tool sets to automate the response, and then it ensures that everyone has real-time access to the new plan. Its features, functions and integration to existing systems such as Trust, TPS, signalling helps to run a better railway all day, every day. In service at Western, it has made an important contribution to the performance improvement. This is pre-COVID, from mid-80s to 90s ppm. In the same year at Modern Railway's Golden Whistles, Network Rail Western and GWR scooped 3 awards for operational performance. Its modelling and on-the-day capability helped to deliver Western's successful December 2019 major timetable change. There were 10% more services and changes to 75% of all services. Luminate TMS is a modern digital platform designed for easy integration into other industry systems, such as crew and stock and connected driver advisory systems.
Hi, my name's Emma Pickard. I'm Head of Performance for Network Rail and GTR. I'm really excited with our submission for the Innovation Award, which is a forensic asset analysis performance tool. We recognised that we were finding it very difficult to understand the root cause of some of our asset delays, and we were really struggling to isolate out some of the big delays versus the underlying small levels of delays that we get on a day-to-day basis. As a result of that, we've combined multiple data sources that now allows us to get down to component level failures and repeat failures to understand what's really causing our asset failures across our geography. Working with GTR, Network Rail and Aventis Consulting, we've brought together a number of data streams and we've worked with our analysts to create a tool that is really user-friendly, it's really quick to use and it gives us really granular information at a click of a button.
HIXI submission relates to a project to install an automatic routing system at the Wimbledon Area Signalling Control Centre. The installed legacy system, plus a basically life-expired communications protocol, were causing problems. This was affecting signaller workload, causing disruption and impacting the PPM measures around Clapham and Waterloo Station. As part of the Wessex Capacity Alliance programme with Network Rail and Colas, we implemented ARS on panels 1 and 2 at the Wimbledon ASC. This was a first for TRISA, which is normally installed with computer-based workstation technology. Integrating the new system and extending the operation of the TEMOR remote interface provided good performance gains for a relatively low capital investment. There was a reduction in signal and workload, providing less pressure and stress for the workforce. It was a complex system engineering task. There was a risk that the new and legacy systems would seek to control the railway at the same time. So we designed a modification to the communication system so that it could arbitrate between two systems which were 30 years apart in technology. We also developed a training simulator to provide a more interactive and engaging training experience for the users and to get early buy-in. We're delighted to be shortlisted for the award, thanks to the HIXI engineers who developed the technology and also to the Network Rail team for their collaborative efforts in getting the solution into the field.
The winner of the Innovation Award for Operations and Performance is Resonate's Luminate Traffic Management System. The judges were impressed by the improved train running performance that the Luminate system makes possible. They were also intrigued by the innovative commercial framework behind it, which provides a model for others to follow.
The Institution of Railway Operators is delighted to be sponsoring the Innovation Award for Passenger Experience category. We all know how vital passenger experience is and how it plays a really important part in rebuilding confidence in public transport that's been so damaged by the pandemic. And while it's odd to be distant from those whose great work has landed them a place on the shortlist this year, we know it won't be forever. These times will surely end soon. In the meantime, IRO is happy to do its bit towards celebrating all the good practice showcased by the final three. So let's see who made it.
I work with Chiltern Railways to create Inside Track, which was a very innovative podcast. It was available on Google Podcasts, it was available on iTunes, and also available on board the Wi-Fi on the cached content. What was great about this podcast was that we went directly to customers to get their questions, to find out the types of things that they've always wanted to know about but maybe never got the chance to ask before. And we spoke to about 70 people in total.
Yeah, I'd love to know more about how ticket pricing works.
I would like to know how the trains are shuffled around the network. So when I'm commuting, if a driver misses one train or there's a delay somewhere, why that causes such a domino effect on everything else and why it takes so long to get everything back into place.
We then put those questions direct to experts in the company, so customers were getting detailed and authoritative responses to questions that they wanted to know about.
Whenever there is floodwater, it can have a big impact on a number of ways in which Chiltern operates over that site. So, for example, there are lots of electrics that are there to help run the railway through the controlling signalling. And if there is floodwater around, then that is one aspect that can be quite critically affected. So the signaller would speak to the driver and make sure that even if we can proceed, we might have to proceed at a very slow speed.
This was a great addition to things that Chiltern Railways have been doing for some time, such as Meet the Manager and Tweet the Manager, to further myth bust and put customers in control.
Providing a high-quality food and drink offer on board
is a core part of how we deliver a great experience. Our customers have told us that they'd like a more personalised and convenient service on board. Working with QuickServe, we're testing a new Let's Eat at Your Seat service, an industry-first innovation, enabling passengers to use their own smart device to order and pay for food and drinks online. The order is then delivered directly to the customer's seat. The system's completely changed the way customers access refreshments when travelling by train. Results have been wholly positive, with over 90% of customers saying that they were very satisfied with the service. This is just the start of our onboard transformation, and we're thrilled to be shortlisted at the Rail Industry Innovation Awards.
Hi. Our automated refund platform was developed during lockdown to offer a remote and digital solution for customers to submit a refund. Our goal was to deliver an enhanced customer experience by processing and paying refunds quickly, whilst reducing the human resource to process a refund. This required automating ticket validation against multiple industry datasets such as Lennon and Goldstar, and calculating the refund value in real time with a bespoke refund engine that supports all ticket types, routes and discounts. A custom UI was built where agents can review refunds, approve payment files and access reconciliation files to keep Goldstar and Lennon up to date. Since the platform launched in May, we have processed over 10,000 refunds and paid out 4.5 million to customers, and refunds are now processed within hours rather than days or weeks.
The winner of the Innovation Award for Passenger Experience is LNER for Let's Eat at Your Seat. The judges thought Let's Eat at Your Seat was a worthwhile winner for the extra passenger convenience it brings, with the added benefit of improving social distancing on the train.
Four awards categories down, 4 to go. As we reach the halfway point in the award, we're going to take a short break. One of the things we would normally do at the awards when we hold them in person is take a charity collection. Clearly we can't do that in the normal way, but what we are going to do is hear a bit about the work of the Railway Children. That's a charity that we've supported for a number of years at the Modern Railways for Friday Club. We hope that after hearing about this, you might feel moved to make an online donation to the charity's important work. So let's hear about that now.
Every day, hundreds of vulnerable children pass through the UK's railway system.
They might be running from violence at home, bullying at school, or being lured to meet strangers they've met online.
Some are exploited to deliver drugs, and others are planning to take their own lives.
British Transport Police encounter over 8,500 children in dangerous situations like this every year, and many more go undetected.
You may not be able to spot those at risk, but Railway Children can.
They make sure those children are safe, then work with them to find out how they ended up in danger.
They help them to change their situations so they don't put themselves at risk again.
They don't just do it here in the UK. There are millions of children facing trauma, abuse, violence and exploitation every day in other countries.
Railway Children also has programmes in India and East Africa where many are forced to survive a brutal life on the streets. Since 1995, the charity has reached and protected more than 350,000 children worldwide.
They provide food and shelter,
therapy and counselling,
education and opportunity.
They work to reunite children with their families, and they lobby the government to make the policy changes that keep children off the streets for good.
This year has seen a new danger threaten these already incredibly vulnerable children.
COVID-19 has destroyed lives and livelihoods throughout the world. The impact is devastating for millions of children and will be for generations to come.
But also it's hurting charities like the Railway Children, as they're forced to cancel fundraising events, which is the absolute lifeblood of their organisation.
So we need your help so we can keep helping the world's most vulnerable children.
RailAid is a new fundraising mission,
bringing the best of the UK rail community together to raise money to stop the virus claiming even more children's lives.
We're asking you as businesses and individuals to raise money by participating in fundraising activities between now and the end of November,
culminating in a special live broadcast event that will showcase the very best efforts and achievements across our industry
and features some of the most popular faces within the rail industry.
We're asking everyone, from frontline staff through to executive teams, to accept our challenge and help Railway Children come through this crisis stronger than ever.
And in doing so, empower them to continue helping children who have no one else to care for and protect them.
So how can you help us?
There are many different ways.
We've got dancing, walking,
waxing, cycling,
running, baking,
and many more group and individual fundraising challenges, ranging in fun and simplicity. You can become a RailAid sponsor or make an individual donation.
You can volunteer by offering your skills to help organise events or spread the word on social media.
Make a video of your fundraising event and share it.
And we'll play the best ones at our live broadcast on the 27th of November.
You can find out more at www.railaid.co.uk.
Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook.
And most importantly, spread the word.
Railway Children is UK Rail's favourite charity.
RailAid will help secure its future and ensure it continues to deliver for children forced to survive on the streets around the world.
So how will you help us?
And now, back to the awards.
Resonate is delighted to be sponsoring the Innovation Award for Cross-Industry Partnership. The pandemic has shown the power of working across industry, as we have adapted with an agility that in truth probably surprised most of us. Let's seize this momentum to build back better, recover fast and support the UK economy. We must innovate at pace by bringing together multiple perspectives, diverse knowledge and best-in-class solutions. This shortlist showcases how it's done. Let's see this year's winner of the Innovation Cross-Industry Partnership Award.
The railway has a fantastic safety track record. The TOCs understandably only want approved products that they can see in a railway environment.
Traditionally, SMEs can find gaining mainline product acceptance a lengthy and sometimes costly process. This makes demonstrating new ideas and innovations difficult.
Our innovation hub allowed Porterbrook to provide a physical train for over 25 suppliers with 30 innovations. This project showed what exciting innovations were in the pipeline and was a wonderful example of collaboration with some fantastic, passionate innovators within Porterbrook and the supply chain.
Ideas ranging from exact occupancy to sustainable flooring, all in one unit, physically realised and delivered in under 6 months.
We were able to physically show the art of the possible, as well as helping our suppliers gauge interest before embarking on full approvals and further development.
We are honoured to be nominated in this category and are proud to be at the heart of UK Rail.
Hello and welcome to Steventon. I'm Gary Keenor and I'm here representing Atkins, Network Rail and GWR's collaboration to solve the problem of high-speed electric running at this location. Steventon Bridge is 400 metres away and is a Grade 2 listed structure that couldn't be reconstructed due to planning permission refusal. Meanwhile, Stocks Lane level crossing is also a fixed constraint, and the wire gradient between these two locations meant that electric trains would be limited to only 60 miles an hour running. So we collaborated to challenge the existing gradient rules using an innovative dynamic modelling system called the RSS. That modelling showed that we could run up to 110 miles an hour without problems. That gave Network Rail the confidence to do high-speed testing, and as a result of that testing, electric trains now run through 110 miles an hour.
Hi, my name's Barry Fox, a product manager at Angel Trains, and I'd like to introduce our entry into the Rail Industry Innovation Awards 2020. Angel Trains has worked closely with its industry partners to develop and trial the wireless pantograph damage assessment system known as PANDAS. PANDAS, developed by Transmission Dynamics, uses a pantograph-mounted miniature sensor with innovative wireless technology to reliably monitor in real time the impact between the train pantograph and the infrastructure overhead line equipment, enabling this data to be turned into actionable information. Working with the train operator West Midlands Trains, the solution was developed for installation on a Class 350 unit operating on the West Coast Main Line and was installed by the train maintainer Siemens. The solution provides automated alerts, and working with West Midlands Trains and Network Rail has enabled engineers to receive and respond to real-time data and insights about the condition of the overhead infrastructure. This allows inspections and maintenance to be carried out efficiently, with minimal disruption to services. This project has demonstrated exemplary collaborative working with our industry partners to deliver overall performance improvements on the rail network.
The winner of the Innovation Award for Cross-Industry Partnership is Porterbrook's Innovation Hub. The Innovation Hub is a true partnership, with one of the industry's major players, Porterbrook, giving a much-needed opportunity for small and medium-sized enterprises to showcase their wares in the actual surroundings of a real train.
Port International is delighted to be sponsoring the Innovation Award for Small Scale Project. We think that this category is very important because small scale projects and SMEs have an even more vital role to play in these uncertain times, getting quick resolutions to new problems. As an SME ourselves, we provide planned and emergency services to some of the best performing rail operators in the industry. You can find out more about this at the Golden Spanner Awards on November the 27th, for which we are a headline sponsor. So, let's see the shortlist for the Small Scale Project Award and find out who the winner is.
Hello, I'm Noel Dolphin from Froe & Frey. This June, electric services finally ran through Severn Tunnel, reducing journey time between Cardiff and London by 15 minutes, as well as creating more capacity. The 134-year-old Severn Tunnel is the lowest point on the UK rail network. This subaqueous tunnel presented a major challenge to install high-voltage electrification equipment. Constant running water, high humidity, pollution, and even anaerobic metal-consuming bacteria. It required a different approach than electrifying a new-built tunnel. Use of aluminium contact wire in place of conventional copper contact wire was one such novel factor. This challenged both UK and European standards. Froe & Frey could only recommend aluminium contact wire based on test installations. The recommendation then went through extensive approval process, as well as electrical and mechanical testing, as well as environmental testing. Severn Tunnel electrification was the last piece of the puzzle to complete Great Western electrification, a unique collaboration between all parties involved: Network Rail, Froe & Frey, Arup, AMCO, and various testing and manufacturing companies. This helped the successful delivery of a reliable electrification solution for Severn Tunnel, enabling electric traction between Cardiff and London.
So the digital twin is a revolutionary approach to planning timetables on Greater Anglia. What the digital twin does is it replicates every element of the railway, whether it's track, gradient, curves, signals, stations, digitally, and also models our rolling stock and the variability in the way that our drivers drive trains. And we can use all of that information to manipulate the timetable and to understand what it is that drives really good performance for our customers day in, day out. We're currently working closely with Toshiba and the TrueLine product to look at all the different options around our West Anglia timetable for May 22, where we're planning a big change. Using the TrueLine software enables us to model 4 or 5 different timetable options to understand what it is that works best for our customers. We're able to try things that potentially we may not have looked at before because of limited resources or limited amount of time. But the new system's allowing us to look at each timetable option, model it sufficiently for performance, for customer connectivity, journey time improvement, to really end up with what we know is going to be the best possible timetable at the end of the process.
Here at One Big Circle, we wanted to enable you to see what your trains could see. So we created AIVR, Automated Intelligent Video Review. AIVR is a lightweight train-borne device that can sit aboard any operational vehicle. It captures video data as it travels, and it packages that with telemetry and location details, and it transmits it all via 4G to make it instantly accessible securely online, like a Google Earth for rail, but constantly updating. This enables remote condition monitoring, rapid identification of faults, it reduces boots on ballast, increases track worker safety and operational performance. We can also apply machine learning to that data as well, to start to understand, for example, changes in vegetation or location of graffiti. We're absolutely delighted that AIVR has been shortlisted in the Rail Industry Innovation Awards, and we're really proud of the fact that our data is getting into the hands of people that need to see it, both throughout the COVID challenges and into the future.
The winner of the Innovation Award for a small-scale project is One Big Circle for the Automated Intelligent Video Review Platform. Rail is frequently portrayed as a world where it's difficult for innovators from outside the industry to get a hearing. Yet One Big Circle showed admirable persistence, and its product is now showing demonstrable benefits.
Hitachi Information Control Systems Europe is delighted to sponsor the Innovation Award for COVID-19 Response. This special category is being presented to recognise the role that the railway industry has played during the pandemic, transporting key workers and vital freight resources, keeping the country safe at the early part of the pandemic. Since then, we've worked creatively to deliver projects and operations in a business as usual way despite the restrictions. Hopefully these innovations will continue during the long journey to what is likely to be the new normal. From an inspiring list of entries, the judges had a hard time selecting the shortlist, but let's see who made the top 3 and who is the winner of the Innovation Award for COVID-19 Response.
Hi, I'm Toby Pilo, Power Apps developer at GTR. Back in March 2020, I was tasked with developing a suite of apps to help support our staff through the COVID-19 pandemic and beyond. I began with the COVID-19 communications app that enabled managers to report COVID-19 absences and also interact with our occupational health team with the occupational health referral app. This would help support our staff with ongoing medical conditions and ensure that we were providing the correct protection and advice to ensure that they stayed safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. There was also advice on the app to ensure staff had the most up-to-date, accurate information from the business, Public Health England and NHS. Going forward, I also developed a train cleaning app and a desk booking app to ensure our staff could safely return to the workplace. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Mark Gaddis from Network Rail's R&D team. We made a submission to the 2020 Railway Industry Innovation Awards for recognition that in only 16 days over the Easter period, we formed a team that designed, developed and delivered 40,000 protective visors to our frontline colleagues without disrupting the NHS supply chain. We published a specification using social media, as well as directly contacting the Knowledge Transfer Network and industry bodies such as the British Plastics Federation for help. The capabilities of MacPack were identified, and our overhead line, industrial relations, procurement and R&D teams worked with them to trial prototypes, even at night. The visors were made from recycled PET, known for its use in lemonade bottles, so it wasn't taking Perspex supplies away from the NHS. The outcome was that staff felt more comfortable with the additional protection the visor provided.
If Network Rail staff can't come in and run trains around the country could potentially come to a halt. As many of our staff still needed to come into the workplace during the peak of the coronavirus, we had to think of ways of keeping them safe. So one idea was to install thermal cameras to detect people with high temperatures, which is a potential sign of COVID-19. The thermal imaging camera can scan up to 4 people a second, which means we're not creating queues of people waiting to get into the building, which is critical because people queuing too close together potentially increases the risk of spreading the virus. And people coming through the camera, they barely notice it. In 10 weeks, we were able to deploy over 100 cameras at over 100 sites, which is lightning fast for something like this. But that can only be possible through the teamwork and the close working relationship with Thales and Network Rail to make this happen.
The winner of the Special Innovation Award for COVID-19 response is Network Rail and MacPack Limited for provision of COVID-19 visors. The judges were impressed with the rapid response to the emerging COVID crisis that managed to provide visors for 40,000 colleagues in just 16 days.
Thales is very pleased to be sponsoring the Major Projects category for the 2020 Rail Industry Innovation Awards. Through our experience of delivering major programmes such as the 4 Lines Modernisation Project, we understand what it takes to deliver a major programme. Perseverance, teamwork and collaboration are all key to delivering a successful outcome. So I'm sure that you will understand that the winner of this award is a very worthy candidate. So allow me to introduce Hayden Abbott, the chairman of the judging panel, who will tell you more details about the winner.
It's a pleasure to be here to introduce the Major Projects Award for this year's Rail Industry Innovation Awards. In this category, as in all the other categories this year, the quality of the entries was tremendous. And we saw a wide range of innovation coming through from the industry in many of the categories, in fact all of the categories that we had to judge. So it's with great pleasure that I hand over so that we can now hear who is the winner of this year's Major Projects Award for Innovation. Thank you very much.
The winner of the Innovation Award for a major project is Network Rail's R&D portfolio. There were many entries to this year's awards from Network Rail's R&D portfolio. The judges were excited by the overall programme and the systematic way in which the company is now approaching innovation.
I'm Ali Smith. I'm the Senior Programme Manager leading Network Rail's R&D portfolio. We are investing £357 million over the next 5 years. This in itself is the largest investment in innovation since the days of British Rail. For the scale of this portfolio, we've structured it into 7 programmes of work, implementing the use of technologies across Network Rail and contributing to the industry's rail technical strategy. One of these 7 programmes we coordinate is Shift to Rail, itself the largest European investment in R&D in rail. We're using and implementing technologies such as robotics, drones, use of artificial intelligence, machine learning, 3D printing and composite materials. Alongside the use of these technologies, we've focused on collaborations and partnerships. We've built a way of working that promotes ownership inside and outside of Network Rail and helps to get the results to the customers quicker. I would like to personally thank the thousands of colleagues and the hundreds of organisations who have already contributed to the R&D portfolio. Thank you.
So that brings to a close the Railway Industry Innovation Awards 2020. It's now down to me to give a vote of thanks to everyone who's helped make this event happen. First of all, thanks to everyone who submitted entries for this year's awards and to our panel of judges who ruled on the winners. We're also very grateful to our sponsors for continuing to support us in these challenging times and as we've taken the event to a rather different format to usual. So our thanks go to BR Fairs, Hitachi Information Control Systems Europe, the Institution of Railway Operators, Porterbrook, the Railway Industry Association, Resonate and Thales. We must also thank all those who've helped make this online event happen. Tony Miles, whose voiceover you've heard skillfully weaving all the parts of the awards together, and my colleagues at Key Publishing, whose technical expertise has been invaluable. You'll be able to read more about all the winners at the awards in a special supplement in the December issue of Modern Railways magazine, which will be on sale towards the end of November. What's next for the Modern Railways 4 Friday Club? Well, our online events will continue in November. First up, we have our Rail in the North of England conference, which we were due to hold at the National Railway Museum in York. Instead, we're going to do 3 separate online events, which will be held on consecutive Fridays, the 6th, 13th and 20th of November. They will be available to 4 Friday Club members and Modern Railway subscribers through the Key Modern Railways website, and we'll confirm full details of all that very shortly. And then it's back to awards. On the 27th of November, we have the keenly anticipated Golden Spanner Awards. Roger Ford will announce which are the most reliable train fleets in the UK across a range of categories, and I'm sure everyone will be looking forward to hearing about who are the winners. And we will also be welcoming Adrian Shooter of Visors, who's got much industry experience to share as our guest speaker. If you're not a 4 Friday Club member or a Modern Railway subscriber and want to gain access to these, then please do get in touch with us. So hopefully there is still plenty to look forward to despite the current challenges. In the meantime, thanks for watching our event today. We really hope you've enjoyed it and we look forward to seeing you again soon.